But yeah, so I'm experimenting. I'm no longer vegan. I'm just open and experimenting with things. And hey, what's up, guys? I just woke up, as you could see, and today I wanted to talk about if I'm doing the Vegetable Police beef cleanse slash why I am no longer vegan. Alright, so in Vegetable Police's situation, he cut out all plant products and went on a basically super carnivore diet, and I posted a video saying that I may or may not be doing that because I feel as if it would reduce a lot of symptoms for me. So I kind of let that linger in my brain for a week or two, and one weekend, or last weekend when I was home, I just decided to introduce animal products and introduce a lot of them. And so I'm still not consuming dairy because I don't react well to that. And so yeah, the first day, my dad has gone to Alaska and caught a lot of salmon, and so I ate a lot of salmon, wild caught from Alaska, and then some like canned tuna, and then some grass-fed beef. And over the last few days, I've pretty much been eating grass-fed beef. I've introduced some blueberries and avocados just to get some fiber and also to get some like potassium and certain micronutrients and electrolytes, because I was feeling really good in certain ways, but then after like a day or two of just eating the meat, I started to feel really bad. And so on the second day, I started to get like a headache, and all I had been consuming to this point was water and the animal products. I hadn't been adding any salt or any other vegetables or anything like that. And so by the end of the second day, I got a headache, and we'll get into the pros after I talk about these cons first, because the benefits are definitely real. Yeah, so the second night I got a headache, and then it was really hard for me to sleep, and I felt kind of nauseous and sick and warm and sweaty. I just felt like I wanted to throw up, and I didn't, but I felt like I wanted to. And the next morning I still had a headache, and this was making me think like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, why is this happening? And so I started to add some salt to the fish, and I actually had some chicken, organic chicken, the next day, and it still wasn't getting much better. So I decided to actually, before I had the salt, I added some blueberries just to help the headache, if that would help. And then later in the day I had some avocados with the meat, and my headache definitely went away after I started having the avocados. Let's see. I guess another negative that I'm experiencing, and it's not really like I feel like it's super negative, but it's like I know that it's probably not the best. But that is that I haven't really gone to the bathroom in the last couple days. And it's not like I'm like going to the bathroom, like I'm trying to go to the bathroom and I can't, and so it's like painful. It's just like nothing's happening, even with like adding a couple avocados with my meals, and so that is a little bit concerning. But yeah, so let's get into the positives of what I'm experiencing after about 3 or 4 days of eating mostly animal products with a little bit of plant food. And so let's get into it. Alright, so the benefits that I'm feeling have been pretty dramatic. I have, ever since I started doing this, my mood has been so much better. I have felt no depression and very little anxiety. And what that looks like for me is literally right before I started doing this, I was feeling really sad about my life and my concussions and how just my symptoms and bumping my head has totally obliterated my life, and just feeling inflamed and everything. And so it's so drastic, the change psychologically and mood wise that I'm feeling just from avoiding carbohydrates and a lot of fiber. And I know that this is like symptom avoidance, I know that, but it's definitely valuable to have this, because if you're feeling like very depressed and having even like any suicidal thoughts, just like, man, like this, my life sucks so bad, like what the heck, being able to turn that off is so important. And that's another thing. It's like, I think that all these mental health, or not all of them, but a lot of mental health issues like depression and anxiety are definitely coming from inflammation, because I can tell that my whole body is less inflamed because I'm not feeding the pathogenic bacteria overgrown in my gut, and probably just not reacting to a lot of foods that I may be reacting to when I'm eating them, plant-wise. And so being able to turn that off, turn off the inflammation, and then having your brain clear up is so profound that it's like, like the state of inflammation in your brain and your body controls like your perception and how you view the world, and how just like who you are, basically, like how you act with people, and if you're anxious or not. And so it's just so what's the right word? It's so dramatic, the differences that I feel based on eating this way versus eating more carbohydrates. And so let's see, the other benefits that I'm feeling, which are related to just lack of inflammation, are just overall, I feel calmer, more just chill. Like a lot of the time, if I'm eating a lot of carbs, or if I have more inflammation, then I feel like I'm just kind of, I can't sit still. Like I need to be running around somewhere, and I never feel like I can just sit where I am, because it feels like I need to escape my own body. So it's like I'm trying to do these things, but I'm always uncomfortable and always trying to escape myself, and so it's like I'm never comfortable. And so that has gone away as I have eaten mostly animal products, and I know that it's just symptom avoidance, but it's definitely real. And another thing is that I have felt stronger, just because probably one, protein is real, but two, a lack of inflammation just allows your body to function better, and allows your movements and your muscles to kind of move through space and do exercises easier. And like if you're inflamed, like think about this, like think of like an older guy who's like very stiff and inflamed, and you can tell he's like got arthritis, and like everything he does, you can tell his body is just like hurting and like tight and inflamed. That person's not going to be very strong. Like someone who has a body who is like relaxed and just like clear of inflammation, they're going to feel and be a lot stronger than the person who is tight and inflamed. I don't know. That's at least my theory. What else? My brain has been clearer, definitely. It's been easier to read, which may sound stupid, but it's easier to just read and pick up the meaning of the words as I'm looking at them, and as my brain is picking up the signals from the words on the pages. Also, another thing is, because of my concussions, there's a lot of things that get complicated because of my concussions. One of those things is like, well, my sensations in my limbs and all that. Like a lot of my concussion symptoms are better. Like I can sense where things are. Like I'm in a closet right now, and there's like a low ceiling, but I can sense where things are better, and so I don't feel like I'm just like out of touch with my environment. Like I feel more grounded. But what was I gonna say? Like, sometimes when I have more inflammation, because it gets into my brain in certain parts, my sense of rhythm is disabled, or it is restricted or negatively influenced. And so like I'm playing music with some of my friends, we're like a band, and I can tell that ever since I've cut out a lot of carbs and plant products, that my sense of rhythm and my ability to like play music in time, like, and keep it going is so much better. And my voice is actually better. Like, sometimes when I eat a lot of carbs, my voice can get kind of scratchy and I can't hit all the notes. And so I've noticed that my voice is just a lot cleaner and better without this inflammation going on, and without with all these animal products, and basically the lack of the carbs like scratching at my throat or causing stuff. Another thing that I notice is less mucus. Like, sometimes when I'll wake up, I'll have a lot of mucus that I have to spit out or something like that, and that is definitely not happening. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of benefits that I'm noticing, and I don't want, kind of like Vegetable Police, it's like I'd rather be vegan, I'd rather be eating a plant-based diet, but I felt like just feeling the difference of how I feel now versus how I have been feeling is definitely noticeable and dramatic, that it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep going with this for a while. And from Goji Man's perspective, or I know that what he's saying is like definitely valid and true. Like, our guts are just totally messed up, and that's why eating less carbs and less fiber doesn't cause us as many symptoms. And I agree with that, and I've gotten stool tests and they've shown that I have overgrown bad bacteria, low butyrate, which is a sign of low good bacteria, low bacterial diversity, and I've never had shown any candida or any yeast, but I definitely have dysbiosis going on. And so yeah, I don't know how I feel about this long term. I just know that right now, in this present moment, I'm experimenting with it, and there's so many benefits that I'm feeling that right now it is worth it to do this. But who knows what will happen in a week from now, in 2 weeks from now. I just know that I love not feeling so anxious and inflamed and depressed, and I love not feeling my concussion symptoms as much, and I love being able to feel more relaxed. And it's obviously great to not feel very, very depressed, because the day before I started this, I was just at my house with my mom, and I was just like crying, like, this is so hard with my concussion symptoms, and like, it's been so hard. And so having like, once I started doing this, I haven't felt sad like that. I haven't felt like, my focus has been on the positive. That's another thing. My outlook has been more positive because of this lack of inflammation. And I think there's just so many issues that are being caused by inflammation, and it's so confusing because if you've been into the plant-based or vegan stuff for a while, we've been told that animal products cause inflammation, and I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm with Vegetable Police, as like, maybe they're not, but it's like, I kind of want to get a C-reactive protein test, like with me eating all the carbs and feeling awful versus now, because there's clearly a lack of inflammation. You can just feel it. It's like a lack of, like, my whole body just feels more relaxed and loose, which is like the opposite of inflammation, because when I'm inflamed, my joints are achy, my whole body is like kind of swollen and tight. And so it's like, do animal products cause inflammation? Or is it just like the processed foods and the result of a messed up microbiome that causes inflammation? So I feel like that's a question that is important. And so I don't know, I just think I'll probably maybe explore that later. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about it. I'm sitting in my closet. I have finished my classes in terms of being able, or having to go to class, and so I don't need to go to class anymore. I just have one essay due tomorrow, which I gotta finish. And so, but it's also looking like I may have this whole room. This is the closet. May have the whole room to myself potentially. So that is pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm like in this break period between school. So it's like summer break now, and it is so much nicer to have this lack of inflammation because I can go to the gym and feel stronger and try to build some muscle. And yeah, so I'm in a band and we're making music and we got some songs that are sounding pretty good. And stars are out to play this summer evening. Quick make a wish as they go shooting by. So when that starts to happen, I'll probably make videos about that. But yeah, so I'm experimenting. I'm no longer vegan. I'm just open and experimenting with things, and nothing is permanent and nothing is long term, and so there's no guarantees that I'll stick with this heavy fish and ground beef animal diet for long. But for right now, it is helping me, and so I think it is definitely valuable to have something that can help you. It's kind of like fasting, where fasting reduces a lot of inflammation for me just because there's no food going through. And it's kind of similar to that, except for I'm also getting fuel. And so, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Be sure to like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you totally disagree with what I'm doing. That's okay. You can say whatever you want. You have the right to whatever opinion and belief you have. But I'm at a point where I need to experiment because for 2 years I've tried a lot of things, and I'll make more videos about that, but I've tried a lot of things staying vegan, and it's just time to experiment a little bit, and I have been, and it's been working a little bit. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to subscribe, and yeah. I gotta bend down in the closet 'cause I'm taller.